Hey there, I'm Kristen, and I have 3 recipes in this video to share with you. 3 treats that would be great for any kind of social event coming up this summer. So sit back, relax, and let's get going. So starting with the no-bake recipe, get yourself a couple packages of store-bought sugar cookies. Put them into a stand mixer on medium, and then put in about 4 ounces of cream cheese. Blend it till it's a fine crumb like this so they can stick together, and then roll the dough into about a tablespoon of balls. Does that make sense? Take a tablespoon and measure out the balls, roll them out, put them on a parchment paper lined baking sheet, and put your popsicle sticks into each ball, put it in the freezer for about 2 hours, and then finish melting the rest of the candy melts, and dip each cake pop into the candy melts, and then make sure and put the sprinkles on right away before the chocolate hardens, or the sprinkles won't stick. And I wish I had more colorful sprinkles, but all I had were these green ones, so we made do. But they were so good, they were really good. I think they came out better using the cookies than actual cake and like store-bought frosting, because I've done that before and it's come out like greasy, and the texture was just better on these is what I'm getting at. So these went really fast in my house. We ate them real fast. They were good. Okay, so now moving on to Blackberry cheesecake bars with shortbread crust. So first we're doing the blackberry sauce. Take 6 ounces of fresh blackberries, I can't talk, a 1/4 cup of water, and then a 1/4 cup of sugar. Turn the heat on over medium and let the berries cook down with the sugar. And then after they're cooked down and softened, you can start mashing them up. You can use a fork, which was what the recipe said, but I used my little potato masher instead. And then you turn the heat off and pour in 2 drops of vanilla. Now you're going to want to strain out those blackberry seeds. That won't make your sauce very good. So make sure and get as much of the juice out of those seeds and the pulp as you can, and set that aside. Now in this stand mixer, we're going to work on the shortbread crust. So 1½ sticks of softened butter. Turn your mixer on, like medium, and get that nice and beat. Light and fluffy, if I could talk. And then 1/2 cup of light brown sugar, and incorporate the sugar into the butter. Okay, and then we're going to add in 2 cups of flour to the butter and sugar, turning the machine down to low, the mixer. Add it in a little slowly here. And then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Turn up a little bit and let it mix together. And then this is a 9x13 pan. I didn't have a 9x9, which is what the recipe called for. So I just kind of turned my 9x13 into a 9x9. It worked. So then you're going to bake the crust at 350 for about 20 minutes until the edges are golden. And then we're going to work on the cheesecake layer. So 16 ounces of softened cream cheese, 3/4 cup of sugar, 2 large eggs at room temperature, and a teaspoon of vanilla. And then with your hand mixer, just mix all those things together, and that will be your cheesecake layer. Okay, so very good. Just mixing up here, mixing. Okay, and then after it is all mixed together, then you're going to want to pour it over the shortbread crust. Just pour it on over there. Make it as even as you can. Making sure you don't have like a really thick part or a really thin area on the crust. Just spread it out as best you can. I gotta get me a 9x9 pan. I'm tired of doing this baking beans part, That's just to keep the dessert from going into the rest of the pan. So anyway, so take your blackberry juice, I guess you'd say, and then just kind of splatter it all over the cheesecake filling, and then take a toothpick after this, okay, and then just kind of swirl it in there. My husband loves blackberries, so I wanted to use blackberries. I would have chosen strawberries if it were just, you know, me and my daughter, you know. I would do strawberries, but he loves blackberries, so. And then it bakes for about 35 to 40 minutes and until it's slightly puffed, and then you bring it out of the oven and let it cool completely, and then cut it into squares. And make sure to store it in an airtight container for up to 5 days in the fridge. And this was really good because it's not too sweet. That's why I think it would be a good dessert. See, look, it turned out really awesome. It's just nice. It's a nice, light, not too rich, not too sugary treat, and it's awesome. Okay, now lastly we have Millionaire Bars. So with your hand mixer, you're gonna want to beat 1.5 sticks of room temperature butter. Okay, and then I'm gonna put in 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. Did I do that already? I think I did. Yes. So you blend those two together until they're nice and light and fluffy. And then we're adding in 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Very good. And then beat that in. Oh, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt, of course. And then, you know, get your mixer and beat it again. And this is going to be the cookie crust. It's kind of like a shortbread crust again, like the cheesecake dessert I did just before this one. And then get yourself an 8x8 baking dish and line it with parchment paper, patting it down. If I had to do this one over again next time I make this, I'm going to put it in a 9x9 pan. I think that would work better because the crust in this smaller pan, it turned out pretty thick. So anyway, you just bake it until it's nice and golden brown, about 30 minutes. And this is the caramel layer. 1 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, 7 tablespoons of unsalted butter at room temperature, cut into pieces, please. 1/2 cup of light brown sugar. Make sure that's packed into your measuring cup. 3 tablespoons of light corn syrup. Okay, and then you're gonna wanna let this cook over medium heat until it pulls away from the pan like that, you see? And then as soon as it does that, then you'll take it off the heat and add in 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then once your crust has completely cooled, you'll pour your caramel over the crust. So you want to do this in stages. First do your crust, let it cool completely, and then do your caramel sauce, and then pour it over. And then you're going to put it in the fridge for a few hours until the caramel has set. And then you're going to get 8 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate and melt that down, whether over a double boiler or in the microwave, which is how I did it. And then you're going to want to spread the chocolate as evenly over that caramel layer as you can. Spread it as even as you can, and then let it cool again, and then it's ready to come out of the baking dish and cut it up and have it for a treat. It turned out really well, but like I said, I think it'll turn out better in a bigger baking dish. But this was delicious. It is so good. All these treats turned out really well, and it was fun trying these new recipes for me. I have to mention that unfortunately the chocolate did crack and it was kind of a mess. I got this recipe watching Valerie Bertinelli on the Food Network, and unfortunately mine did not come out as beautiful as hers, but it was still good. So thank you for watching. Thanks for humoring me. These are all new recipes that I've never tried before, and I wanted to just see how they turned out. I have made the cake pops before, but just not with cookies. I've just made them with cake mix. And I think they turned out really well with the cookies. So these would just be all really great recipes to use if you need to bring something for a summer barbecue or whatever. These would be a great little treat to bring to share with everybody. And also if you go camping. It's camping season again too. And these would be a great treat to bring, to make ahead of time and bring on your trip. Be a nice little treat for everybody. So if you like my content, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, let me know what you like, what's going on. Do you like what I'm doing or what? So anyway, just I'll see you in the next one, okay? Bye.